Meow meow. I'm kinda just starting my day. And I got stuff to do later. If I can show up on camera. Oh, I know. I think I'm gonna take a bath again so that I can use the electric razor on my face and brush my teeth. What's been working so well? No, I think I gotta go to the bathroom though. Maybe very quick when the game loads. Anyway, earlier I added bacon bits in my cooking, I just wanna use it all up. I'm not gonna buy bacon bits anymore. They're really fine, like minced.
Let's roll.
Meow meow.
Shut the fucking up.
Okay, meow meow.
Shut the fucking up.
Okay.
What the fuck? Are you alien? What the fuck?
Nip no, nip.
Fucking alien.
I come in peace.
What the fuck?
Live long and prosper.
How old are you?
I'm a grown man with a voice changer. I wanna be a cute anime girl. Meow meow meow. I'm not the alien, I'm a cat.
What the
Shut the
fuck,
fuck
alien?
up.
Witness tissue.
Cat.
Hepsi. Bir çanta.
Meow meow for the homies.
Q'dan çalıştım. Bu niye bir kaçırsın?
Чечина, солнце чечина.
Aa, güzel.
Chi chi chimo chimo. Michino chimo chi.
The motherfucker, shut the fuck up.
Meow meow. Yeah.
Yok, çok.
Plant the bomb, man. Plant the bomb. Oh, fuck you. Plant the bomb, man.
Bitter bomb, son.
I got the bomb. When'd you leave it?
Oraya yemiş yandık.
мэдээ хүн байтгүй шээс.
Meow meow.
Хичээгэл сүм өмнө тойроо шаа.
Meow meow.
Meow 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 meow.
Meow 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 meow.
Мянига, мянига.
Meow 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 meow.
Deploying smoke shield. Throwing fire. Grenade out. Terrorists win.
Oh, you keep on leaving the bomb. Hello. How are you?
Throwing a Molotov. Grenade out. Flashback. Fall, decoy. Smoke.
Шахах. Та болондоо
Sorry.
мэдээс. Момото.
I'm planting the bomb.
Мэд. Чиний талаас.
Terrorists win. We cannot
Hi, meow meow. Lol. I mean, I don't really have a lot of viewers, and
Ru, your friend?
we must win.
No.
Throwing flashback.
I mean, meow meow.
Throwing fire. Molotov out.
You know, I don't really know what to talk about.
Smoking.
I just stream my games.
Hoidaks. Orves korundaks.
Throwing fire. I'm throwing a grenade. Bomb has been planted.
Wow, I've been getting so many people when tonight.
Бананлав юм алгаа.
Usually I don't get them.
Мэдтэр. Мэд.
Yeah.
Толж бол.
Grenade.
Зүнтэй.
Terrorists win.
Nah, man, I don't know. Wow!
Доктор байдаг шээс.
I'm ready.
Таас.
I'm gonna climb the ranks.
Throwing a decoy. Grenade out. Grenade out.
Come on, cross.
I'm throwing a grenade. Throwing fire.
Frick! Men. Yung
Ой.
I'm throwing a flashback.
Оо намайг зөвлөж нэвтлээ аль. 좀 생각 같았어요.
Behind you.
하나.
Nice.
We will dance on your grave. We must work together.
This is Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike 2. Oberman.
Fire in the hole. Smoking. Smoke.
바람 허일.
Frick.
Эмэр.
Oh, frick, I'm lost.
Нэмэлтэгэн. Да нэмэлтэгэн. Өч. Проверю. Да, тончлоо дөө. Нэмэлтэг байна.
Huh?
Байна. Наач.
Upper.
Тэдний флешнес зүрх бүгээр гэдэг юм.
It's me, son.
Flashbang. I'm throwing fire in the hole. Throwing fire.
Оо, гур байтгсэн. За, гурлаа онцлаа дөө. Бит.
Throwing a flashbang.
Bye, thanks for dropping by.
Throwing a decoy. I'm throwing a flashbang.
Hello.
Сайт байна. Бараана шилж.
Banana.
Yes.
Бараа.
Кончиг дээгүү байгаа.
Frick.
Шатсараг өгч.
No, that's not.
What the fuck?
Шатсараг уудаш.
No, I'm doing well, thanks for asking. How about you?
Counter-terrorists win.
Гэлж шалгалтгүй шаасаа. Чигээр бүгээр.
Mambo.
Энийг гад чигээр бүжиж загснаа наа.
Omatsuri Mambo. No.
Throwing smoke.
Бараан хоёр.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
Намайг
Oh, damn. Mambo.
Я похоне бабаш.
Мэдүү.
You know, I hope that I'm not getting disconnected. I hope that I'm not getting disconnected.
Grenade out. Molotov out.
아, 네.
Freak. Mambo.
Stay right here is where we end this.
Mambo.
알아, 이럴 줍시다.
Go, go, go.
You definitely gotta use some dental floss.
Throwing a grenade. Flashbang.
아, 맞아, 멀어. 아, 쉽다.
Throwing fire.
Burn.
Laying
Burn.
Soldier mit. Das mit.
아, 씨.
Oi. Why? Oh no.
Өчигдэн зөргөө шивсэрэл.
Зэрэг тулс гайгүй.
Зөргөө юм хүүд өсөлтөөсөн шүү.
сая яг эргэд байсан бол би авчихар байсан. Цааш яваа болчихсон. Бомба зогтоо шүү дээ. Ямар их там бит.
bomb has been planted. I'm defusing the bomb. Bomb has been defused.
Yeah, it is.
Scoping us.
You cannot really aim properly when two guns, both hands. Now I can actually try it. With my toys.
Grenade out. Grenade out. Incendiary out.
Frick! I thought I was able to throw my firebomb right away. They're going A. They're going A. They're going A. Green.
Ace.
Low HP. Mid, bro. Дэргүү шээс.
Red alert. I think she has on two P226s. Looks like, how does it look edited? Just two Deagles here. Yo, good morning. You know, I kinda had fun yesterday listening to those social commentaries by internet personalities. You know, I really like her in Red Alert 2. Because she had dark hair.
Baby.
Bomb has been planted.
Where's the IMDb? You know, that AK looks small. Or is she freaking big?
Grenade out.
That looks so small.
Parang huge weight.
Throwing smoke.
One more middle.
Grenade out. Incendiary.
Mid-pick.
Frick!
Mid on that.
Wow, I got carried very hard. Sheesh.
We are out of here. Throwing a grenade. Fire in the hole. Throwing smoke. Incendiary out. Laying down.
Frick.
Deploying flashbang. Throwing fire.
We only need one more win, then we win the match. Oh wow! He keeps on. He also uploads a lot. You know, I hadn't ridden my bike in a long time, so we gotta check on it. I think I also gotta buy a brake lever. You know, I really appreciate my new RAM sticks. They look very nice. I keep on glancing at them. You know, I'm very glad that I got the blue. Although, you know, I think it was the only choice. It's very nice. Anyway, it's all for work, you know. I'm gonna show up on camera, so I might get a haircut soon. You know, I've decided to use my electric razor every 2 days, every other day. You know, for the longest time, you know, I haven't been using it really. But sometimes I miss a spot with it. I don't know what's different when I was working on site.
Okay.
Huh? Can you speak English?
Yeah, I can speak English.
Okay.
Incendiary!
是小头吗？
我操！
Min.
How old are you?
I'm a grown man.
Yeah, oh yeah, fuck that, bro.
Meow.
You sound like a 5-year-old.
My character is 4 years old.
Oh my god, is that a fucking... That's not your real voice.
Yeah, I'm a grown man. I told you.
只是变声器吗？
是，应该是。Holy shit,
说什么
shit.
硬件东西？
不知道。
You
但
thought
他说他 他说他自己是个成年人。
Wow,
这是贴身带啊，谁得分析的我操！
these are very nice.
他会不会去 B 头包了吧？B 头包了吧？
有可能在 A 二。
都有可能，都有可能。真他妈去 A 头包了。
It's B.
哦，我
Yeah,
操 A
I know.
B 没声啊。
Buy me big Mac.
哦
Yeah, please mute your mic, please.
Okay.
1-3。
Come on, man.
我
牛
操
逼！兄弟，5中82，我操，这不死的东西。
I go B.
你又跟人说我了，你给我报假去！
我新兴去
我听着没听。
新
Man,
兴去 A 了，新兴去 A 了。
I should learn how to understand. I should learn to understand Mandarin and Cantonese. Frick.
有区。
Throwing grenade.
No.
B，有一敲头，小心枪到，有蹲的。
我扔个啥？
OK。我操！
Yeah. Man, if I didn't stop drinking, I'd probably lose my life from an accident or a fight.
Throwing smoke. Grenade out. Laying down smoke.
有区。
Grenade out. Throwing fire.
过来一个 ，A 又过来一个 ，A 又过来一个。
Deploying decoy.
我操，枪到 N 的，三枪到 B，都在枪到，我操！
Multiple B.
Ruthless perish as nature runs its course.
Hey, what's up guys, Rip here. So this video is going to be a bit of a follow-up to something I covered a few days ago, where we had this very interesting collision of parties, including Hollywood, multiple franchises, and YouTubers as well. Today we're going to be looking at the continued attacks on the author of Project Hail Mary, Andy Weir, who's being called out not only by activists on social media for his non-political views, but also we're going to be looking...
Man, just leave the guy alone.
at the continued cancellation of him because of his association with YouTuber Critical Drinker, who's being attacked on multiple fronts here by soy boy YouTubers trying to call him a chud that is cancer to work with, but also he's getting canceled from authors like this on your screen right now, who are trying to basically stab him in the back after having no problem working with him in the past because they want to impress Hollywood and gain virtue signaling points by doing so. But where did all this begin? Well, it started about 2 weeks ago when there was an announcement regarding Star Trek Starfleet Academy, which will be ending with its second season. this surprises nobody. This was an incredibly woke and just terrible show that cared way more about owning the chuds than providing entertaining content. And people in response to this were blaming everything but the showrunners themselves and the actors involved, blaming right-wingers, anti-woke people, YouTubers, anyone they could think of. And now it seems even more obvious, if it wasn't already, why this show's getting canceled. Nobody watched. They try to appeal to the modern audience, and that's what they got. The modern audience. There is an allegation out there, a report, that less than 40,000 people watched each Starfleet Academy episode. Ladies and gentlemen, just wrap your minds around that. There will likely be more people watching this video than the average Starfleet Academy episode. And of course, with 10 episodes, the total views for the entire first season is around 400,000. That is painful, and honestly it makes a lot of sense when you look at the latest involving the Change.org petition trying to get a third season of this show, because it has roughly 40,000 signatures. The modern audience, ladies and gentlemen. But things get even worse. Now you have actors from the show saying they're sad about the show getting canceled and that they have all these episodes left and they're just bummed that this didn't work out. Which is very funny to hear because just a few days ago, the same actor came out and said they're vowing to make season 2 gay as F and to go out in flames and to be even louder and even more annoying when it comes to representing his character. These people learn absolutely nothing and are doomed to fail any project they are associated with. But there's another franchise involved with this situation, and that, of course, is Project Hail Mary. Its author, Andy Weir, is getting a lot of heat from people in Hollywood and activists on social media, despite the enormous success this film is having at the box office right now. They're mad about some of his stances when it comes to politics and the projects he works on, where Andy Weir does not want to inject modern politics or a modern agenda into his works, and of course that makes all the activists very angry. But they're also angry about his recent collaboration with Critical Drinker, where people from the industry are calling him out on social media and in other places for simply joining his stream, where they talked about many things, including Starfleet Academy, where Andy Weir described Kurtzman's shows and the modern Star Trek as garbage, as crap. And, well, for telling the truth, he made many people very angry. People were also pointing out some of his stances, again, when it comes to AI and putting real-world commentary and politics into fiction, and how he deeply misunderstands Star Trek, according to people like this on social media, that just yesterday, a post like this got 15,000 likes. And basically, they're saying that they dislike, this is Andy Weir, he dislikes social commentary, like he really hates it. When I'm reading a book, I just want to be entertained, not preached at by the author. Plus, it ruins the wonder of the story if I know the author has a political or social axe to grind. I no longer speculate about all...
Oh man, by the way, Grabs are like Uber. So Grab food is like an Uber Eats. Man, not today though. I cooked spaghetti and I wanna finish it.
Possible outcomes of the story, because I know for a fact that the universe of that book will conspire to ensure that the author's political agenda is validated. I hate that. I put no politics or social commentary into my stories at all. Anyone who thinks they see...
Man, then... For me, if you don't like it, then don't read it. I mean, you don't have to come out of your house with a pitchfork and tell everyone else not to read it.
See something like that is reading it on their own. I have no point to make, and I'm not trying to affect the reader's opinion on anything. My sole job is to entertain, and I stick to that. This quote from Andy Weir is making people upset. He is delivering what 99% of people want. An apolitical piece of entertainment that is not affected by personal agendas or something happening in modern politics.
It reminds me of myself when I was just starting on reality. I had the avatar, but I was using my real voice.
Politics. You would think people would be happy, but no. People like this on Twitter are crashing out. But here's some of the quotes criticizing this sort of a complaint. This person saying, in quotes, I put no politics or social commentary into my stories at all. Anyone who thinks they see it, they're not reading it from me, they're reading it on their own. And they continue on reading the rest of the quote. And this user says, this is exactly why the movie is so good. Here's another one mocking the original poster. The fiction author is trying to entertain me instead of validating my stupid opinions. I know, shocking, right? I cannot believe someone writing fiction would want to entertain instead of validate people's political opinions and activism. Here's another one saying the amount of attacks on Andy Weir and the Critical Drinker have endured just because they like based movies is insane. Cancellations, death threats, and more. Just because you like good movies. I am never surprised anymore at the amount of people who really want you dead over not consuming the message. Now, the message is a bit of a joke, a run-on gag, or a phrase from Critical Drinker's content where he talks about the message, right? People trying to force modern politics into their stories, and someone's really upset about the message being brought up here, and that is Matt Jarbo. I'm discovering more about these individuals. There's a lot of very interesting players in this side of the internet. Matt Jarbo is a bit of a lol cow, as I can very quickly realize the more I look at this guy, and he was immediately calling Andy Weir a chud because of comments he made while collaborating with Critical Drinker, and anyone who says the phrase chud unironically, I mean, there's just no saving them at that point. But he has...
I mean, you know, the John Wojak looks like me in real life. I look like the John Wojak in real life. I also act like it.
Openly led a boycott against Project Hail Mary simply because Andy Weir went on a stream with the noted chud Critical Drinker. And of course, this guy got absolutely blasted in the comments. I mean, first of all, look at this, right? 336,000 views, 110 likes, 1,200 comments. That's how much mockery was directed this guy's way, because he clearly has an issue with Critical Drinker, and anyone who associates with him is immediately labeled a chud or a bad person and deserving of a boycott. But Critical Drinker would quote Matt Jarbo saying, "Oh no, how will this movie ever succeed without the Boulder King to support it?" And Matt Jarbo since then has been trying to take a victory lap because Andy Weir would apologize for his comments about Starfleet Academy and its executive producer, saying it was not supposed to come off as mean as it was received, which some people thought was an L. I think it was an L amongst a situation where Andy Weir was collecting a lot of W's, right? If he had 5 W's coming out of his commentary and his collaboration with Critical Drinker, he might have lost 1 point. Okay, he lost 1 W because of the backtracking, but, you know, who knows what he got in terms of a boss call from Hollywood or anything like that. But, you can see Matt Jarbo saying last week, I pointed out how crappy it was that Andy Weir went on with the Nik Drinker, and everyone lost their minds, and my post blew up like crazy. Then Andy apologized for his comments made on the podcast. Now, Matt Dinneman is calling out Drinker and regretting working with him. Jarbodamus strikes again. And it's just like, this guy is immune to a well-supported take. But, yeah, we will see this Matt Dinneman individual trying to cancel Critical Drinker in just a second. But let's go back to the message. Okay, Matt Jarbo says, in quotes, the message. That's the grift. Ah, word that has completely lost all meaning. That's the Critical Drinker's entire business model summed up in a 2-word calling card. But it's not just...
You know what? Next time I play Airsoft, I don't really know when. Probably after the next time I get paid my wage. And I'm gonna go for a noisy but powerful build instead of my usual low FPS silent build. I just remembered.
Just him, it's Nerdrotic, it's Geeks and Gamers, it's the Side Scrollers podcast, which, by the way, I am a regular member of. I go on Side Scrollers once every 2 weeks, and we'll talk more about this probably in another video, but just know that they were mentioned, Sargon of Cod, and the entire right-wing pop culture outrage ecosystem. They don't even have to define what it is, or, like most anti-woke reviewers, actually care enough to engage with the narrative mechanics of a movie or game. It's just a convenient strawman. The grift runs on this manufactured outrage instead of offering a real community to guys who miss the simplicity of the 80s and 90s. They offer a catchphrase. They blame a changing, diverse pop culture landscape to keep you isolated in the dark, hunting for a reason to be angry at a screen for 2 hours rather than just participating in society. Holy projection. This is a necessary cycle to break.
Man. Man, I can't even improve my life. So, you know, I know that back in high school I was very idealistic, but you know, I never made my life so comfortable or you know, efficient. You know, I couldn't even manage my own life. So, yeah, you know, I'm not even talking about how the system is rigged. You know, how I don't have a livable wage. You know, that ain't it. It's a me problem. So, you know, I gotta fix myself before trying to fix others or society or the world.
Break. If you ever want to actually enjoy escapism again, is the message a real fundamental critique of modern storytelling? No. But does it work to keep people angry and clicking? Yes, it does. The problem isn't with modern filmmakers, it's with all these outraged peddlers who do not have their fingers on the pulse of society at all. Give it a few years, and they'll all be relegated to third-rate, small-time comic conventions, sitting at fold-out tables where isolated guys pay them $5 just to say the line. I mean, are you getting any of these things that you're...
Man, you know what? I am an isolated guy, you know. Yeah, I'm a freaking snowflake. And I complain a lot. So, you know, I should really tone it down. Because I don't wanna negatively affect people. No, I don't want to influence people to become like me. I'm gonna tone it down.
You're crafting in this hypothetical that one day they might lose. I don't understand how people like this think they have the pulse when their posts get zero support whatsoever. And you can look at any critical drinker video, typically will get around 1 million views and overwhelming support. So I think it's very obvious who's out of touch here. And when it comes to the message and wokeness, which people can easily define, the message is a symptom of woke culture, where over and over again there is political agendas being forced upon people who are just trying to have some escapism, to enjoy whatever universe they're consuming. They don't want to hear about modern politics. They want things ham-fisted in a very unsubtle way into that content.
Go away,
So
go
yes,
away, go away, go
when
away.
the
No one's
message
happy,
is
no
something
one's
that
happy.
is clearly present in these various forms of media, those forms of media typically fail. What's an
Oh,
example
Joe.
of that? Oh, the ground level for this whole thing, Starfleet Academy. They had
Last one
the
minute.
message all throughout it, and they will continue to have the message
Try,
in the second season,
Joe,
and
you
that
touch
is
your job.
why they are failing. But we did see this other mention of Matt Dinneman, who is the author of Dungeon Crawler Carl, and he's had some things to say about Critical Drinker as well, saying in quotes, "I regret that my books have any association whatsoever with him. I hope one day to have his part in the book, in book 3, removed altogether. It's a distraction, and the only edgelord douchebag I want people to think of when they read my books is the AI itself. Why did he feel the need to do this?" asks the original poster here. Yeah, this is very interesting because Critical Drinker has a role as small appearance in the audiobook of Dungeon Crawler Carl, which is a successful one, right? A lot of people really enjoyed this IP, and Critical Drinker had a role to play in it, which it seems like years ago that wasn't an issue whatsoever. But now this person regrets any association whatsoever and wants him completely removed. And you can see this sort of tactic and how it is backfiring horribly.
You know what? You know, when I consume music or art, well, you know, suddenly I didn't want to talk about it anymore. I mean, I can hate a person, but I can like something he or she said or he or she made. You know, just like just like this guy. I mean, I still listen to his song Here With Me. You know what? I'm not really gonna stop listening to it, or you know, one day I might, you know, cover it in again. Yeah, I think it ties in with my rationale that, you know, I'm not gonna claim to be like a freaking intellectual, but you know, there's a saying, one sign of intelligence is being able to, or is the ability to entertain a thought without agreeing with it. You know, instead of turning off the radio or the TV or switching the channel when I don't like what I'm hearing, you know, I'm gonna let it finish. No, I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to believe it. just gotta hear it.
Here's the comments. Drinker is only getting heat because he is successful. What's the issue with Drinker? He's objectively based. I was curious about these books, but now I've lost all interest. Thank you for showing us who you really are. Wow, that sucks. I guess I'll just stop buying his books. Just finished the 3rd book as well. Hope this is all fake. Glad I read this. I was thinking about buying the book, and so on and so forth. But of course you have the Looney Tunes trying to go after Critical Drinker here, saying Critical Drinker needs to get a job. He and his round table of clones are the modern audience. They're always ready day one with ticket in hand, ready to consume product, get mad and wait for next product. Stop simping for him because funny accent man make joke. F grifters. Again, it seems like all of these people have no idea what a grifter is. They don't even try to explain why they believe someone like Critical Drinker is a grifter. But yeah, they're going the next level of cope I've never seen, where they're accusing people like Critical Drinker of being the modern audience. The modern audience is now accusing the people critical of the modern audience of being the modern audience. How did we get here? This is like the maximum level of cope, but Critical Drinker would wrote this post right here saying, LOL, that's interesting since he was very excited to work with me and claimed to be a big fan when it benefited him. Now that he's trying to break into TV, suddenly he's filled with regret. Good luck sucking all that Hollywood D, buddy. Hope it was worth it. Yeah, there's a lot of attacks going on and so many authors going at each other, and it's providing some great content, ladies and gentlemen, I will say that, but it is interesting to see this guy once again in the middle of multiple franchises and IPs battling it out over some of the most stupid stuff I've ever seen. All beginning with Starfleet Academy, of all things, getting axed after its 2nd season finally airs and completes. I mean, this is what Hollywood does. If you want to appeal to Hollywood, this is the route you go, and all it's doing for this author who's attacking Critical Drinker, all it's doing is hurting his reputation. It's hurting his product. This was a needless and baseless attack for no reason, and it's going to backfire. It's only going to hurt. A lot of people were getting their first introduction to this IP because of the comments about Critical Drinker, and it's not a good look. It's not a good look at all, but that is the situation for now. That's going to also do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
This B7000 glue is super easy to use, dries clear with no white marks, strong hold without leaving visible residue, perfect for phone repair, DIY, and fixing small items, easy to apply with precise control, no messy overflow, it stays slightly flexible after drying, so it won't crack easily, definitely a must-have at home.
Okay, 喷手，装好。
打。
Huh?
爆笑了。Planted.
What do you speak? Do you speak Mandarin or Cantonese?
Both.
Maybe I should learn.
What were you saying?
I should learn so that I don't have to ask people to speak English.
Wait, what? Say that again.
Never mind, man.
我不知道。
The incelification of Gen Z. Uh-oh.
Man, you know what? I don't want I don't want like my coworkers to think that, you know, I'm boring and I'm a loser, so that they wouldn't have to feel the need to invite me to places and activities that I don't want to do. You know, I'm tempted to pretend to be married. Pretend to be married with, like, I don't know, many kids. So, you know, I can't afford. And it's so bad though. So, you know, pretend to be something I'm not so that I have an excuse.
Uh-oh. Here we go.
Drop me,
Answer this one question. When was the last time you met someone natural? No dating apps, not online, but a genuine interaction in the real world. I'm guessing. Quite a while ago. But if you're in Generation Z, it possibly has never. That's not an accident. Most people we see these days are cashiers, co-workers, people rushing around, delivery drivers.
I mean, you know, I appreciate it when I get like invited to freaking Starbucks. Oh shit, I didn't mean to drop my name. But you know, coffee. It's not even Starbucks, the one, you know, at my last office. But you get the idea, you know, around that price range. But I'd rather buy food. Yeah, I'd rather buy food than that. You know, maybe 4 donuts. 3 or 4 donuts instead of a coffee. You know, I know that donuts are very good, but you get the idea. Maybe one rice meal and a donut.
I mean, I talk to the cashier whenever I go to the gas station. I'm like, what up, bro? How you doing? Like, I mean, 'cause I see him all the time. Like, I feel like you want to count that. I mean, that's easy, but like, outside of somebody you're like friends with.
But you know, even if I feel that way, I'm not gonna tell people that, you know, they shouldn't be doing that as well. You know, I'm just saying it's not for me. When I say that something isn't for me, you know, I don't want people to also give it up. If it makes you happy, if it makes you comfortable, if it makes you at peace, if it makes you productive. Hello. How are ya?
他去拆了，他去拆。我操！
And, you know, I kind of feel like watching this is pretty unnecessary for me. But you know, I wanna hear what other people say.
We pass by, not people we get to know. Interactions.
Maybe not the Asmongold video. I want the original.
Pagtanghaling tapat na init-init talaga sa garden. Buti na lang, na-check out ko na yung pinakamurang sunshade sa Lazada. Hey guys!
Answer this one question. When was the last time you met someone naturally? No dating apps, not online, but a genuine interaction in the real world. I'm guessing for most of you it was quite a while ago, but if you're in Generation Z, it possibly has never even happened. And that's not an accident. Most people we see these days are cashiers, co-workers, people rushing around, delivery drivers. People we pass by, not people we get to know. Interactions are often just transactions.
What the frick? I mean, you know, there was a time during the pandemic when I trained to be a storekeeper, but you know, instead they made me an office assistant. Man, and during that time when I was a store assistant at the pet store. What the frick? This person says this new world has no soul. Man, that's not true. The frick are you talking about?
Before dating apps turned relationships into a marketplace, the stage was already set years ago. Just think about an average day. You work from home alone, your groceries get delivered, you tap your phone to pay, no words exchanged. Self-checkout at the shops, takeaway dropped to your door by someone who doesn't make eye contact, or maybe doesn't even speak the same language as you. It's so easy to go days without meaningful human interaction. Most interactions
Oh yeah, I just read the message. Hey, that's great. I'm sure. I really don't like. I really don't like to speak for other people. That's not my place.
you do have a transactional unless you're one of the lucky few who finds a club, society, or just something to connect with people. And even then, it's probably shoved into a small corner of your routine. We live in a touchless society, and like anything, if you don't use it, you lose it. Intimacy, sex, and love are just no different. And unlimited access to adult content really capitalized on this moment. You just click, consume, and wrap things up, remove your sexual desire, and move on with your day. Super easy, and truly the simplest exchange for pleasure imaginable, really. But it's also shallow, takes away your drive, it's temporary satisfaction with diminishing returns. And like any addiction, you merely fill the gaps by addressing the root causes. And the brain is adapted to all of this. Dating apps started with a promise to breach a gap that most of their founders and investors had started. I mean, get this one of the Tinder CEOs left in 2022 and immediately launched Mino, an AI chatbot to fight loneliness. There's now a thriving loneliness economy that Silicon Valley...
You know, I used to joke that, I used to joke about AI, but, you know, I don't really use AI.
talks about all the time. There are even venture capital companies that focus...
I mean, there was a time when I tried chatting with a character AI, but, you know... I have two impressions, you know. One is... It's pretty impressive. Yeah, it's pretty impressive, but then... I don't know,
Okay.
I don't really feel, you know, it's freaking uncanny. I just don't care for it.
Focus exclusively on this. We made a video about the entire loneliness economy before, as it's just the perfect vector for exploitation. Sell people the solution to the problem you helped create. It's the oldest trick in the book, but the impacts are totally new to us. And that's why they're doing so much damage. We're even inventing new language to deal with this. Remember that cringily soulless word "me cute" that people started using years ago? It popped up on social media as a way to describe meeting someone that you exchange numbers with for a date. For example, at a coffee shop or a bookshop when looking for the same book. Just think about the fact that we actually developed a new word for the crazy phenomenon of just meeting someone organically. It should have set off alarm bells, right? It was an early sign that society was changing in a way that made meeting people in real life the exception and not the rule. It's no coincidence that the word started being used a lot around 2015, the same time dating apps blew up. And in the last decade, dating declined to the point where the majority of Generation Z today just don't know or really have any way to meet people.
50% of men aged 18 to 24 have never approached a woman in person in their life. And like even higher percentage, 18 to 30, haven't approached a woman in the last year.
In recent years, third spaces, meaning not your home, school, workplace, have just vanished. Think about the place that you grew up as an example. Pubs, bars, libraries, high street shops, how many are actually left today? And if any, how busy even are they? Since COVID, we just shuttle ourselves from home to work to the gym, the supermarket. You don't really just go to the village market. There is no real town, square, or hall. You're not really bumping into anyone. Even a bit of small talk with someone at the bus stop just feels weird and awkward. Making eye contact with someone on public transport will get you a look that leaves you wondering if you're insane.
So much of what makes somebody good at dating is different now than it was 50 years ago.
You can see it in the way coffee shops have changed. Almost every cafe is bland, empty, just minimalist. Almost as if they're designed purely as a conveyor belt of coffees and customers, getting us in and out as quickly as possible to extract the most amount of money they can. But can you remember the time when a stereotypical cafe was like this? With big sofas, comfy chairs, bringing people together to talk, and people just walking up to someone to say something without it being creepy. The show Friends was based on just reality in the 90s, and it's all part of a much wider pattern, one that's seemingly threatening humanity.
But this is actually a potentially existential crisis. Humans really do meet the qualification of an endangered species.
Because meeting people and building relationships is really the most important thing for human survival. It's often the key indicator in determining your lifespan. It's how we have replacement rates in just the population. But with this
I mean, this isn't true for the Philippines, at least. So, we still have a lot of, teenage pregnancies and, of course, the vast majority of people having kids. So, as for the moment, it's not a problem for the Philippines.
last decade and the disappearance of so many communal spaces where our parents and grandparents had opportunities to randomly meet new people, mixed with dating apps, has meant we're seeing a gap try to be filled that wasn't a natural one. This is a void created by the same economic forces that hollowed out our third spaces, chains and corporate landlords. The same forces that funded these apps promising to replace what was destroyed. Dating apps didn't discover a gap in the market, one was just torn open and then monetized. But it was a lie. That too was all about getting more money. Think about it, the whole idea of a dating app as a viable business is a paradox. If they actually help people into relationships, they would clearly lose business. One good match is two lost customers, so instead they design the apps to fail, and in doing so keep us hooked on using them. And in turn, what better way to keep an active user base than by having relationships designed to be short-term?
Lahat tayo may firsts. Sa una pa lang, masarap na to! Choose GSM Blue!
This is your capacity to fall in love, to build a family, to find meaning. All your data, all your most vulnerable desires is just slowly converted into swipes and push notifications so someone else can hit their quarterly growth targets. Your relationship is designed to not be long-term. It's why men make up 75% of Tinder users and women just 25%. Interestingly enough, the co-founder of the dating site OkCupid wrote a book revealing what actually happens behind the scenes of dating apps. Women, as you'd expect, receive an average of 4 to 5 messages a week, which even that seems unlikely to be this low. 90% of men received an average of 0 messages. Only at the extreme end of the attractiveness scale do the best looking men receive around 1 to 2 messages.
But there's also a lot of men who are relying on dating apps who are never going to get the matches that they desire, either because they are short or because they are bald.
So as many of us already know, if you're not in the top 10%, there's really no point in using them. It's something that's called mate suppression in practice, and we'll get into that more soon.
And the reality is, for 95% of guys, online and dating apps aren't going to be a fruitful place for them to meet women.
But what we're seeing right now is that Generation Z's entire prospect of finding love is based on the ELO rating system, a numerical method developed to rank players in games like chess. A player's score determines how strong or weak they are in relation to others. So your ability to find love is seemingly literally being run through the same maths we use to decide who's good at chess or League of Legends. It's why whenever you join these apps, you get tons of matches, then suddenly they just fade away. You'll be told this is a personal failure, but oftentimes it's not. It's just the platform sorting you to the bottom unless you pay a ton of money. And this created a dangerous dynamic that has now permeated the world of dating, one where women select the same group of the most attractive men who have almost exclusive access to women, who then become less interested in lots of these girls because they are then seen as too easy. The effect of this is that dating is seemingly a low-trust marketplace, as the entire way to attract is seemingly detachment and not through connection. It's always a contest of who cares the least, who can take the longest to message back, who's more aloof, disinterested, and who holds the power in the struggle to not care about the other. In other words, But it's a game where almost everyone is bound to lose. You can now see it on reality TV with game shows where heartbreak is entertainment. But what's the message we're supposed to get from this? Romance isn't sacred, it's just a contest, which will lead to the loneliness epidemic, and this one's hitting the youngest the hardest. But it's not just dating. Our whole modern society is stacked against any of us meeting someone, getting married, or even having children. And the consequences of this will change the world as we know it. Because there's something else catching up with us. Our bodies are starting to fail and lose the capacity to produce children at all. You know what they found recently? Microplastics in human testicles. Human testicles contain nearly 3 times as much plastic as dog testicles. We're literally marinating our reproductive organs in synthetic polymers. It's one of the many explanations as to why male sperm counts have dropped by more than 40% since 1970. Average sperm count could even hit near zero at the current trajectory. Even if a situation that extreme doesn't transpire, there are plenty of other things to worry about, like the forever chemicals in non-stick pans and waterproof jackets, EPA in water bottles, all the nasty chemicals in your shampoo. I mean, just the list goes on. Even simple stuff like drinking hot coffee out of plastic takeaway cups. We just live in a world now saturated with endocrine disruptors. And surprise, surprise, our endocrine systems are getting disrupted by all of this garbage we're pumping into our bodies daily. But even if you've somehow avoided the chemical assault, even if your fertility is fine, there's another huge problem vying against us. How many of your friends between the ages of 18 and 30 have kids? 1, 2, none until this year or last? Is anyone planning to have kids? How about those who said they don't even want kids? We just push everything later and later back. Education, work, financial stability, and for the middle classes especially, that pushes back having a family. Because you only have a family when it's really sensible to you, right? That's just the middle class value. Rich people don't work.
Not really. In the Philippines, a lot of people became parents unexpectedly because, they're not ready for it, but they conceive anyway. I mean, I came from a college that, wherein a lot of people already had kids, No, I still remember a lot of them. Of course, they're not the vast majority, but so that was for my, for my home college. But, I cross and road at UP Diliman, so I don't remember anyone from UP Diliman telling me that they already have kids. At least I don't remember anyone sharing to me that they did. So I don't really know. I'm very happy that even though I wasn't allowed to pick my college, I learned a lot from the people there. Not only academically, but socially. Good thing someone from there told me yeah, she whatever.
worry, and poorer people don't worry. But nothing changes our biological clock when it comes to fertility. Women over 35 are considered advanced maternal age, and honestly 35 is starting to look young to have kids for millions of people around the world. However, at 35, miscarriage rates nearly double. The chance of chromosomal abnormalities skyrockets. Down syndrome risk goes from something like 1 in 1,250 at 25 to 1 in 100 at 40. And it's not just mothers, older fathers contribute too. Men over 45 show increased risk for autism, schizophrenia, even stillbirth in their partners. Having kids into the 40s, 50s, and way higher for men at least is now becoming super common. Every year you wait, you're rolling dice with higher and higher stakes. But what else do you do? Shrug your shoulders and say it's too late and just plummet towards old age without the family you ever wanted and live an unsatisfying life. Well, if you don't want that, when natural conception fails, you can only turn to IVF. This is often the modern solution, except a single cycle costs $12,000 to $15,000. Add medications, there's another $5,000, and most people need multiple cycles, so you're looking at around $30,000 to $50,000 minimum, often much more. And this leads down a dark path where we're forced to engineer more of the process of just having kids. Genetic testing in the womb, testing for Down
again, in the Philippines, that's not a problem.
syndrome is one thing, but some companies will now screen for height and IQ. It's an ethical black hole on every front, for men and women. Women are the child bearers, they shoulder a lot of the risk here, and male dating culture doesn't think about this enough because everyone is turning against each other. If you've seen our video on population collapse, you'll know that fertility rates are just collapsing. Countries like the USA and the UK are seeing the lowest childbirth numbers in their histories. It's not just a stat, it's millions of people who always imagined they'd have a partner and family one day, now quietly aging out to that possibility. Family lines ending not because people don't want love, but because our environment makes acting on that desire impossible. Ask yourself, even if you did meet the right person, what would stop you from having children? Probably not enough money, no chance of being able to buy a house anytime soon. Cost of living is probably too high in your city with food, bills and transport. The cost of childcare is more than your current salary. There are just no good schools in your area, or no school places in areas with good schools. Or even just finding a wife that you can trust won't divorce you and take half of your money. It's probably all of the above. It's not just an economic problem. Based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, all the stuff we need like love and marriage and family are just the basics. It's the same importance in life as having food, water, a roof over our heads. The funny thing is that the way this hierarchy was sold to us in the 20th century made it sound like family came after you'd finally self-actualized. You've nailed the career, the money, the personal growth, now for a family. In reality, for most people, that self-actualization replaced family altogether. There was always one more phase of working on myself first, so we ended up with a whole culture optimized for individual self-maximization, while family quietly got pushed off the edge of the pyramid. Today, most of us, let alone Generation Z, never even get past the bottom rungs. Housing, money, community, security, it's all
Both the source and the reflections are home to irreplaceable life.
unstable. And when your foundation is shaking, you can't climb to the levels where belonging, intimacy, and family even become possible.
So, is this the right term? Or, I mean, from my understanding, it means, you can get any. You can get some. But, yeah, where this video is going, they make it seem like, it's not a matter of not being able to. It's not wanting to. I don't know.
The system keeps us stuck in survival mode, but gaslights us for not reaching love. Do you ever lie in bed scrolling through people's social media? The engagements, weddings, honeymoons, kids, it feels like you're watching real life from behind glass as time seems to disappear.
Yeah, I don't keep romanticizing
about
those.
missing out on dates, is that we're missing out on the opportunity to build something lasting. Something to have outside of ourselves. Something to connect us with beauty in the world. Somehow starting a family is considered a luxury for the rich.
That's how I've seen it since.
For a select few in society who don't have to worry about the housing market. They don't have to worry about the dating crisis.
I keep telling you, I can barely feed myself. So, what more?
They own several homes. That money and security is attractive to other women. They don't need to worry about schools. They can send.
And those new memes coming out like this can't be the same salary. my coworker with 3 kids has. I don't know. I'm very happy for one of my previous coworkers. Of course, I can't say who it was, but you know, he shared to us that his wife has like more than 50% more. Her wife's salary was 50% more than ours, so I'm happy for them.
Their kids to the best private schools anywhere in the world. And the thing is, this isn't an accident. Decades of decisions driven by corporate greed, short-term profits, and a culture that worships work over family has left us here. Those at the top are allowed to have family. They're able to have more kids. And even then, they're still not having that many. Like an idiocracy, where you'll get these upper-class people debating whether it's a good idea to even have one child. So how can you expect an undervalued, underpaid worker class to ever be able to have the time, money, or even possibility of raising a family? Especially as more and more governments cut childcare, youth services, community centres, third spaces, police numbers, the list just goes on. But the effect down the line is just a less safe, less connected society that is not replacing itself. Huge populations in the entire Anglosphere are just disappearing over time. And this is where it gets interesting, because if you think about the West 150 years ago, it wasn't like we were even that much richer. So many people struggled, poverty was rife, the poor worked insane hours, but they still had families, often large ones. So
I mean, you know, if you know our national hero, you know, it's like they had what, their parents had like 9 to 12 kids, you know, just because, not because they were well off, but because what were they gonna do during that time, you know? There wasn't any entertainment. You know, that's how one of my professors put it, you know? Can you imagine being in the 1800s? There was no TV. Like, can you imagine your life in the 1800s? No TV, no internet, no cell phones, no tablets, no internet. So that's how one of my college professors put it. So, you know, they had each other. So the joke was, you know, masipag, very industrious and diligent in making babies. Aren't you Japanese? Aren't you Japanese? I mean, you know, the stereotype for Japanese people is that all you do is work. You don't want to have a family anymore. Even the women. You'd rather be a salary woman than a housewife. You don't have kids anymore. Lel. I don't know, man. I remember my coworker many years ago. And that was just a summer job though. And I think even back then, like my wage was I think less than half of the minimum wage. Because I came in as a kitchen helper, you know, but you know, despite that, you know, for Manila standards, that's not enough. That's way not enough. But my coworker, you know, I think he was from Mindanao. You know, when I got the job, you know, I really remember him. I think he didn't smoke, he didn't drink, and then he would walk like more than a walk. I don't know, 2 miles. He walks home 2 miles a day. You know, he told me. You know, he told me that I can get a wife. You know, because I can make a living. You know, I know that's not gonna be enough. But, you know, hearing that from someone who was very nice. You know, he's very nice. You know, I never really looked down on him. You know, what a good guy, man. I hope he's doing well and he never picked up, you know, smoking or drinking or gambling. Yeah. I hope he has a good job, a high-paying one. Yeah, I should really strive to be more like him. You know, instead of becoming more and more like the complainers. Yeah. And one thing I remember that guy.
What actually changed? Well, religious communities and spaces, shared culture, social traditions, and...
Wow. I haven't been very grateful for you know, my past, for the things I've learned in the past. So it's good that I remember. Wow.
Greift Ihre Position an! Greift Ihre Position
You know what, Lisa, dude? I don't really complain about birth. You know, I'm not gonna complain about the job itself, but you know, I still keep on complaining about the necessary things or the things that come part and parcel for it. You know, like I complain about good grooming, complain about hygiene, complain about my coworkers. No, I haven't been complaining about customers, no. Because no matter how unreasonable they can be, you know, they can't really touch us. You know, if they're the ones being unreasonable, then it's not my fault. And at least I'm not curling up in bed out of fear anymore. Yeah, I used to be freaking crippled in fear. been more than a year now. That's a great change.
Rituals and safety nets that help people to share life's burdens were just erased. Modernity has completely stripped away all the essentials that make replacing your population just a natural part of human evolution. And I'd say the most infuriating part of this fertility collapse is when we're just supposed to pretend that people's decision to not have children is simply a personal choice, and not one imposed upon us by oppressive social structures. This isn't a problem in Africa or other developing parts of the world, and yet somehow the rich West can't even replace its population levels. And we can't just blame the rich and powerful here. Much of the progress we celebrate today is just part of the problem. Because we created a massive middle class, and when you look at who's actually having kids, it's not a straight line from rich to poor. It's a U-shape. The wealthy have kids. Elon Musk has 12 children, Nick Cannon has 12, Robert De Niro just had his 7th at age 79. The working class or populations in poorer countries have tons of kids too. Africa's population is booming. Often when work prospects are lower and pay is worse, kids become a lifeline. Life priorities put family before career advancements because career advancement really isn't on the table anyway. There's nothing controversial about this. This was always what it used to be like before countries became industrialized and the middle class blew up. Families had loads of kids first because infant mortality was high, and second because it means more family income and higher overall chances of survival.
That's basically how it works in the Philippines, so we're still at that era. And you know, some people say it's very backward, but you know, I don't think so. I don't think so, man. I mean, you know, if going forward means being miserable, and being like the colonial masters, it's a very different economic space nowadays. I mean, during colonization, you know, those colonizers were sure to have a market, which their colonies are only allowed to buy from them. So, you know, they never had the problem of surplus or... Yeah, I'm saying surplus. What? I mean, surplus was the norm for their own country, but they have their colonies to buy from them, to buy their surplus from them. Oh, now people complain about China being the number one outsourced manufacturing country. I mean, at the same time, they still keep on picking it. You know, I do like brands that outsource their manufacturing to China. You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about firearm and airsoft stuff, you know, like Monstrum, UTG, what else? Those are the two US brands I know that outsource to China. Monstrum. I think I mentioned Monstrum because I do like Monstrum. I'm a big fan, even if I've only had one of their stuff. Yeah, you know, if money wasn't the object, you know, I'd buy more.
they're getting absolutely crushed. And they're dying quite literally because of that. First, the middle class is associated with hard work and career aspirations, the self-actualization I talked about earlier. So immediately there's an additional cost, childcare, because most middle class households have dual incomes. No one wants to give up the career society marketed to them all their life. The middle class couple sits at the kitchen table with a spreadsheet. Mortgage, student loans, car payments, health insurance, retirement savings they're already behind on. And then childcare that costs more than their rent. So they wait and wait, they're being sensible, and by the time they feel ready, realize the biological clock never stopped. This is the low fertility trap that threatens everyone. The working poor have kids they can't quite afford. The rich have as many as they want, but the middle class, the people who followed all the rules of their life, maximized their education, delayed gratification, well, they're getting totally screwed. As you expect and probably know, all of this is causing a hell of a lot more stress, angst, paranoia, and disdain. It's getting so bad the men are just doing everything possible to thrive in this algorithmic system. To the point of literally breaking their bones to add height to their Hinge profile, or just smashing their jaw open until it looks worthy of more likes on Instagram. It's why looks maxing is now a thing.
What we're really seeing is that there is like this very, very like deep anger, entitlement. There's like this incel movement. There's this like alpha male, beta male kind of thing. And I don't know if you kind of get this, but there's like a deep sense of like anger.
Men today are more overprotected than ever before, but at the same time less able to be themselves or show vulnerability than ever, with constant mixed messages about needing to be confident and assertive, but also to never make a woman uncomfortable. So when real intimacy feels impossible or dangerous, most people just end up with two obvious escape routes. Adult content, which has now become a type of synthetic intimacy, numbing your core drive in life to Bonnie Blue videos. Or you go the other extreme route, monk mode, with alpha male gurus, where you see influencers taking TRT at just 14 years old in looks points.
So I was like, I'm gonna get my physique going as quick.
You know what? By that logic, man, I don't even care.
As possible. I do not care about side effects. I don't care about any implications of, this guy's using drugs. None of that shit really fazed me.
There's even an influencer influenced so much by his love of American Psycho, he offers expensive courses to help young vulnerable men ascend. Even the escape routes offered by these men are roads to nowhere with heavy price tags attached, but they all clearly indicate that there is a crisis happening. They're symptoms that dating is falling apart. And with more and more endless towns and cities designed around roads for vehicles and the loss of communal spaces that once enabled people to meet naturally, free time is just now dominated by screens. We need more exaggerated extreme content, whether it be some crazy look smack runs or watching 1,000 men line up outside. Yet whenever this issue is talked about publicly, it just sounds like a joke. No one ever takes it seriously, no one even thinks about it. In fact, society will just continue to tell us that biology doesn't matter. Sex, status, attachment, presence are all just irrelevant. We're now post-animal, caged in our rooms, playing out life virtually, deprived of community, ritual, movement, and the necessary bits of chaos and unpredictability, the conditions that our species evolved in. So next time you see falling birth rates across the Western world, when you see the population collapse in numbers, you have to realize that this is manifesting itself through these weird behaviors that we're seeing today. And as we continue to struggle to even replace our current populations, the burden will only get heavier for everyone.
I was saying, it's not a problem in the Philippines. No, maybe I'm thinking about I don't want to sound like a freaking, I don't want to sound very demeaning or degrading. But, that's how it is for the lowest income families. So we'll always have them. Really pumping out the numbers. So I remember one coworker yet again. You know, like one day, 1 week, or 1 month, he was telling me, you know, like he wants a family so that there will be someone to take care of him when he grows old. And you know, eventually he knocked the woman up. You know, they weren't married yet. You know, when they had their kid. So, you know, there will always be people like that. You know, so right now, we don't really have the same kind of problem. I mean, even at my previous work, you know, sometimes I can hear people making side comments to others, you know. Mag-asawa ka na. Mag-anak ka na. Things like that, you know. Pressuring others to abide by the biological clock, biological timeline. So, it's not really my business, but, you know, I'm still grateful that, you know, we're not really gonna have like a declining population problem yet. As long as there are people like that. So yes, I hope it doesn't change. But you know, I'm not gonna live like that because I cannot afford to. It's pretty interesting if you think about it. I mean, some people from the middle class or the working class, they would say, you know, why is it that it's always the poor people, the ones who have nothing, who keep on breathing, and then we gotta pay for their welfare. You know, the 4Ps, ayuda. And whatever. I mean, even with my job right now, when I start earning, I'm gonna be taxed 10% of my income. You know, and that's, you know, for me that's very ouch. That's very painful for me. 10%. And my gross income is not even as high as when I was working for my previous company or any company before. You know, I really wanna complain, but you know, I wanna complain and be angry. But whatever. We don't have any say in the matter. You know, the politicians are just gonna keep on exploiting the middle class so that they can make poor friendly programs and giveaways to get the votes and to have a very pro-poor image. That's how it is. And you know what? I don't even feel sad or angry about it. Hey man, that's very nice. That's a very nice pickle helmet. Pickle haube. Looks, you know, Prussian. Yeah, that's how it is. Make the poorest of the poor and the richest of the rich very happy. At the expense of the working class.
Kopiko Supremo, matapang, pero suave.
We've been investigating the hidden online world of incels.
I have not interacted with a female that is not related to me in over 3 years.
They're mostly young men, usually virgins, who can't find a romantic or sexual partner.
I must become more attractive. It's my last chance.
But on the extreme end, some incels are becoming more menacing.
There was quite a few women that I did want to break their nose so they would be ugly.
We're staunch incels are women and attractive men for the reason why they're not in
This must be scripted.
a relationship.
Around 60 terror attacks that can be linked to incel actors.
We wanted to know who these incels were, what they believed in, and just how extreme it could get. In this two-part...
What's a Valentine's room, bro? What's Valentino's room, bro? You know, I just got a message from my job. You know, I'm gonna be doing a lot of stuff for my training this week. So man, you know what? I freaking miss working for a call center. Because even during training, we're already paid as if we're already working. So yeah, I miss that. There's no need for motivation. Anyway, it's not where I'm from, it's where I'm at.
Investigation, we gain access to a world that is usually closed off, especially to women. Before we start this story, we want to let you know that it contains violent and distressing content, including references to sexual violence and racist slurs.
We're on our way to meet 5 incels who we've been chatting to online for about a month now. They usually chat to each other in forums and in servers, but today they're meeting up.
And they're letting us join. One of them, who we'll call Tom, is well known in the community for building a server, which is kind of like an online chat room. He's agreed to meet us first at a hotel.
There is most likely not a single female on the planet that would be willing to date me.
How do you define what an incel is?
An incel is someone who is unable to get into a romantic relationship.
He's nervous to be on camera and has brought a mask with him to protect his identity.
Being an incel has become quite sensationalist. I am worried that openly identifying as such in public might affect job prospects.
What do you think when you see a woman on the street?
I mean, why would you... Why would you sensationalize it, and why would you make it about identity politics? Anyway, I'm just very glad that I'm just very glad about my training right now.
Feind gesichtet! Feindkontakt! Feind gesichtet!
Oh wow, I hit him.
Feindkontakt! Los! Attacke!
You know,
Feind gesichtet!
I'm considering to buy...
Feindkontakt!
I'm considering buying,
Feind gesichtet!
any male sim game. No, maybe there are free male sim games. You know, I heard about Vellum. Is it on Steam? What? It's for sale.
Of success I'm getting on this channel right now, I can feel myself getting more and more comfortable behind the mic. So I want to thank you guys for showing love and all the likes and comments. You guys are awesome. And with that out of the way, I hope you guys enjoy the video. We're gonna hit the long flank. We're gonna get some kills with this Kar 98, dude. They're not gonna know where we're setting up, brother. We're gonna hide in the bush. Be real sneaky. Alright, let's go for a little swim, huh?
You know what?
Those animations.
I think Armory Forger is for sale on Steam.
We're on the map.
It's not
So we're
for
going right
free.
towards this point. There.
It's pretty expensive for me. Armory Forger.
Greif Ihre Positionen!
It's more than $30 US. Anyway, I gotta end the stream. I'm also going to the bathroom. So, thank you so much for dropping by, everyone. I'm gonna go now. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care now.